Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. The honorable judge and viewers, my name is Akira Muhammad Riano, a student of ABBS High School Surakarta, and I am very pleased to greet you all through this storytelling performance for the Mansaka English Festival 2023. Well, sit back and relax because I am going to tell you a fascinating Indonesian folklore from my hometown, Kalimantan, which is entitled The Legend of the Sacred Cow River. Please enjoy. Once upon a time, there was a big kingdom in Kalimantan. It was a kingdom of Kutai Kertanegara. Tepian Batu was the name of its capital city. This story took place when the kingdom was ruled by King Aji Maharaja. He was the third king of the kingdom. Even though King Aji Maharaja had possessed a big palace, he remained unsatisfied. He thought his palace was not finished yet. So he asked of his advisors on how he could make his palace more lovely. For that, he gathered all his royal advisors to discuss his wish. Your Majesty, it would be nice if you bring in a sculpture from the island of Java, suggested Prince Mangkubumi.
What a thoughtful suggestion. Well then, I'll bring the best sculpture from the island of Java to our kingdom,
said King Aji Maharaja. The very next day, several envoys left for Java. Arriving there, the envoys immediately conveyed the purpose of their arrival to the King of Java. With pleasure, the King of Java was pleased to send two of his master sculptures to the kingdom of Kutai Kertanegara. The two sculptors, who were brothers, finally arrived at the kingdom of Kutai Kertanegara. They were welcomed by King Aji Maharaja.
Welcome to our kingdom, O messenger of the King of Java,
greeted King Aji Maharaja kindly.
I heard that you are very good at wood carving. Then show your masterpiece all over my palace.
What kind of sculptures do you want, Your Majesty? Asked the sculptors.
I want the most beautiful sculptures in the world,
said King Aji Maharaja. The two sculptors then began to work diligently. The two sculptures were assisted by supernatural powers so that they could complete all the work in a short time. Soon enough, the palace was covered with wood carvings of various patterns. King Aji Maharaja was fascinated and amazed to see the two sculptures work. As his expressions of gratitude, he gave them lots of gold. He allowed them to live in the palace as well. Because the two sculptures always kept their royal customs and manners, the king paid attention to them more and more. Apparently, how the king treated the two sculptures was considered excessive by the royal advisors. They got jealous and envious of the two sculptures. Therefore, they intended to get rid of those two sculptures. One night, they held a private meeting without the king's presence, then having an agreement on a foul slander for the two sculptures. First thing in the morning, they rushed to King Aji Maharaja to tell of their accusations of the two sculptures. They slandered the two sculptures brutally. Your Majesty, you have been deceived by those two sculptures. They did something immoral to the ladies in waiting. Unfortunately, the king trusted him. He was furious. He commanded the two sculptures to leave the palace. But the evil advisor suggested something else, something evil. Your Majesty, if they leave the palace, they will work for other kings, and they will make more beautiful sculptures in other palaces. Why don't you just put them to die? Asked the advisors.
You're right. Hang them to die now,
ordered the king. The two sculptures were brought to the open field. There were two poles and ropes. People were watching. They were sad because they loved those diligent young men, and they knew how bad the advisor was. Unfortunately, there was nothing they could do. But when the punishment was about to be carried out, one of the sculptors was able to escape. Apparently, he has the power to disappear in a blink of an eye. However, the other one did not succeed. Before taking his last breath, he cursed the king and the kingdom. He said, 10th will be destroyed and 11th will be a jungle. Ladies and gentlemen, what did the sculpture mean when he said that? According to the legend, the kingdom will be destroyed by the 10th king, and that by the 11th king, it will be entirely gone and turned into a jungle. Miraculously, it was then happened after losing a war between another kingdom. The 10th king of Kutai Kartanagara was unable to keep his kingdom's life, and that by the 11th king, it was entirely destroyed and turned into a jungle. Alright, let's get back to the story when the sculpture was executed. King Ajay Maharaja ordered the soldiers to throw the sculpture's body into the river after he died. But surprisingly, the body did not drift downstream. Instead, it drifted upstream into the river near Samarinda city named Sungai Kerbau. According to the local beliefs, the body was intact and not decomposed. They built a tomb for the sculpture in the middle of the river. They sacred the grave and they sacred the cow river. The honorable judge and viewers, there must be varied points of view when deducing a moral lesson from the story, but I can certainly state that the lesson that we can learn from the story is that slander can result in the punishments of both the offender and those who believe it. In this story, the whole kingdom suffered the consequences, because a lie, no matter how small it is, will never be a good thing. Furthermore, a king should be wise and decide something with careful consideration. Because of his carelessness in giving orders, King Ajay Maharaja had eliminated someone who was meritorious to his kingdom. That was all my storytelling performance. I am Akira. Be safe, be cool, be great. Wassalamu alaikum.